Holy of the holiest, mighty of the mightiest, supreme of supremacy. Yes, Selassie Jah, Rastafari. We give thanks for life and for light and for the Sabbath. We give thanks for everything good. We give thanks for the giving of thanks, even for the bowing and the kneeling. We give thanks for the cup of salvation and Holy Communion. We give thanks for the full moon. We give thanks for the new moon. We give thanks for everything in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie. So today I greet everyone. I'm here at the riverside, Yeah. So this place is called Lebane. Yeah, it's a river, as you can see. Maybe you can't see very well, but as you can see that I'm within the bushes. Yeah, so now I give thanks for life and for everything. We are, good people of the Most High, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. First of all, let me pass my love to each and everyone who shall see this video today or even in the future to come. Yes. So I stand here in the name of His Imperial Majesty to try to explain some of the things which were written within the book of life, which is the Bible. Yes, because some people, they confuse themselves. They say the Bible is a religious book, while it is not a religious book. It's the book of life. That is why even His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, he showed most of the things he showed us about spirituality and religion. You can see that there is a very big difference between the two. But still, he encouraged us to read the Bible. Why does he encourage us to read the Bible? If a Bible was a religious book, he wouldn't encourage us to read the book, But because he knows that that is the book of life. You see, it have all whatsoever I need, everything. So now, I would like to talk about some of the things, starting from, let me start with Garvey. Garvey, yes, and Jamaica. Yeah, that is the starting point. Yeah, so now, let me tell you these things. If you read in the book of Revelation chapter 12, you see whereby they talk about the woman who had a crown of 12 stars upon her head and the moon under her feet, and then the woman who was ready to deliver a man-child who was to rule the nations with the rod of iron, if you can still remember very well. All right. So now, let's talk about that. The book of Revelations, it shows us that this woman is not just a woman like you think, because as you check upon those angels which came to reveal the mystery of women and everything, the beast and all those kinds, Yeah. So it shows us that the woman, it simply refers to a country, meaning Africa or Africans. You see, because Africans is the place of the 12 tribes of Israel. This 12, the crown of 12 stars, thus 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel, and the crown represented the kingship, you see. So now, because we are kings and queens, after His Imperial Majesty sit upon His throne, we became kings and queens because we inherited His name, which is written upon our foreheads, you see, as I can say. So, but now, since I want to come more about this thing of the woman, the child, and the wilderness where the woman fled to, you see. So now, okay, listen, and listen attentively and very carefully. And you must go and read for yourself after you listen to this. If you read in the book of Genesis, they tell you about this guy called Esau. Esau was a brother to Jacob, but Esau who differed from Jacob, you see, because Esau, when he was born, the Bible says all his body, he was like a hairy garment. That means he was very hairy, and his color was red, you see. So, and then, according to the prophecy which was given to the mother, the two nations were within her, and two manner of people would be separated from her, you see. So that means the two nations and two manner of people. Those means they are the two races, the black race and the red race, which red, not red. the red race, which is which lately called themselves the whites. You see, this thing is white, which I'm wearing. I've never seen anyone who is just like this. So, but no, we give thanks. Let me continue, because that one we save it for the other day. All right. So now, this woman who was ready to be delivered, they say the dragon, a great red dragon, came to stand before the woman so that she can, after conceive or after giving birth to the man child, so the dragon can easily eat up the child. You see, that means it's Africa. Africa is the woman, and then colonialism came with these red people, the Esauites. You see, so which are the white people, according to these days, the way they call themselves. You know. So now, the great red dragon, and Esau was red, and then now we are told about the great red dragon, which stood before the woman to devour her child as soon as it was born. So now, this thing, if you connect them, you will see that, okay, the white people or the red people who call themselves whites, they are the ones who came to stood before the woman which is Africa, because already from the days of Christ, do you still remember when he sent forth his disciples, he told them that they must not take the way of the Gentiles or the way of the Samaritans, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You see, he was showing them from the Middle East where they were standing, the place called the Middle East. Yeah, because they call it Middle East, and then you know it like that. Let me talk about what I want to talk about. All right, so now, that Christ told them that they mustn't take the way of the Gentiles. The Gentiles, we know that they are the Europeans, you see, even though some people confuse them like that, we are the Gentiles. We are not the Gentiles. We are the children of the Most High, the chosen from the foundation of the earth, you see. So now, these people, the Europeans, which are red, you see, they came to colonize Africa, because they've heard that the kingdom of God is at hand. When we say the kingdom of God is at hand, we talk about there can be no kingdom without a king. So that means the king was about to come, because when they say it's at hand, that means the king is about to come with his what? With his kingdom to rule the nations. You see, as we can hear, Revelation says the child was to rule the nations with the rod of iron, and then the child was caught up into God's throne. That means the child is equals to God, you see, because he is upon God's throne. How can you sit upon God's throne if you are not God? You see? All right. So now, we give thanks. So now, these people who came to conquer I and I like that, you see, to enslave I and I, you see, their main aim was to kill the child as soon as it was born. If you can still remember, Haile Selassie was born 1892, and then during the year 1896, while he was 4 years old, the Europeans, especially the Italians, you see, they came and tried to invade Ethiopia so that they can kill the child who was born to become the king. So the main aim as well was also to steal the Ark of the Covenant. You get what I'm saying? So, and then they say the woman was given 2 wings of an eagle to flee into the wilderness. Why the wilderness? Because the wilderness simply means away from home, a place which is away from home. You see, it's in the wilderness. You see? So, but the earth helped the woman by swallowing up the water, which the dragon poured upon the woman, so that she must be taken away by the waters. Okay, it's when these people, they found a dry land to stay when escaping from slavery. You see, these floods, great floods they are talking about, is the sea. When they were thrown into the sea, some of them, and then some of them threw themselves. So, but the earth helped them, which means they found a dry place to stay. That is why it's called a wilderness. So now, Marcus Garvey rose from the wilderness. You see, that is why it's likened unto John the Baptist, because he is from is the voice which is in the wilderness, telling the people to prepare the way of the Lord at home in Africa. you see. And then his torch did not light up only Africa. It lit up Europe, Asia, Australia, you see, America, and Africa as a whole, you see, which is the 7 continents. He lightened them up, telling them about the coming of the great king to sit upon his throne. So, but because Babylon did not understand all these things, when listening to the utterances of the man in the wilderness, preparing the ways of the Most High, they thought, this man is fooling us, he is the one. You know why they thought he is the one? It's because Marcus Garvey came with this thing called Black Star Liner. So you see, when he made the Black Star Liner to take the Africans back home, is whereby Babylon started to think this guy is mad, we must do away with him. They started charging him with some foolish crimes which he never committed because he was black, you see, as they read us. So we give thanks. So now, some people, they wonder, some say, hey, they want to take Marcus Garvey and make him John the Baptist. They want to fit him in the Bible whereby no, it doesn't belong. Let me tell you, my brethren, these things, we don't just fit people in. You see, it's the spirit of the truth that reveals everything that we should know, you know. And then when it reveals, you can't just keep quiet with the truth and say, no, you save it for yourself, because it will become useless and worthless. You see, it's just like education. So now, if you've got education and then you don't share it with your fellow brethren who were maybe I can say who were less fortunate, you see, to receive like you did, your education is becoming worthless and useless because you can't share it, you see. So now you need to share with the brethren and sisters so that they may know what you know and become wiser as well, you see. You don't have to mock them or think you are better than them. You get what I'm saying? So now, as the Spirit reveals that these things are true, you see, Marcus Garvey represented John the Baptist, and then Christ, Haile Selassie I, you see. Because the Bible says, God hath sworn unto David with an oath that of the fruits of his loins he shall rise up Christ to sit upon his throne. So Haile Selassie did sit upon the throne of David in these perilous times, you see, and he was crowned King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That means he is the Christ, you see, sitting upon the throne of David. I never said he is Jesus, but I said he is the Christ, you see, because people, when they think of Christ, they think of Jesus. You see, they don't see Christ as a character and Jesus as a name, you see, because Jesus can be a name for anyone, but Christ is a character, you see, which symbolizes what? The anointed of the Most High. You get what I'm saying? So Haile Selassie is the elect of God, you know. So that means he is the Christ himself, you see. So he is the one who took us, I and I, out of this Babylon slavery to set I and I free, you see, to become free indeed. So, dear people, when they say in the book of Revelations that the woman was given 2 wings of an eagle to flee into the wilderness to a place prepared of God, when we check out and we found out that the name Jamaica itself means the place prepared of God. So that means, okay, everything now makes sense, you see, because the dragon has got 7 heads. What are those 7 heads? 7 heads are the 7 continents in which these people are ruling, you see. They represent the 7 heads. And then the 10 crowns represent the permanent members, you see, of that organization which want to destroy and enslave I and I forever. You get what I'm saying? So, there are 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon the horns there are 10 crowns, as I told you already. So they are those 10, the members and of those, all those kind of things, you know. So, I mean the members within the organization, you see, which oppresses I and I. As we can still remember, there was the League of Nations before we have the United Nations organization. So the League of Nations was in Geneva, and its aims and objectives were to divide Africa, to rule it, to enslave the people forever. But His Imperial Majesty made sure that all those things become just a dream which will never come true. because he managed, you see, to bring them down for I and I's sake, so that I and I may rise and do good in this time. Hail I, Selassie I can Rastafari. I still greet you in the name of His Imperial Majesty, the most powerful name. So, good people of the Most High, you need to understand things before you say anything about them. You get what I'm saying? Some people still think the Bible is a colonial book, but no, Bible is the one that took I and I out of slavery. You see, and it's the book that helped I and I to find I and I own selves. You see, because His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Selassie, was prophesied more than the guy called Jesus Christ in the Bible, in the Old Testament, even in the New Testament. Because in the New Testament, himself, the man called Christ, he gave a prophecy whereby he says the king shall come to sit upon the throne of his glory, and all his angels with him. And then the nations shall be gathered unto him. That is true. During the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, 72 nations were gathered unto him. And then now, Haile Selassie went to join the League of Nations, which was formed by European countries only. And then he became the first African to join there. What was the main aim of joining the League of Nations? The main aim of joining the League of Nations was to bring it down, because you can't bring it down from far, you know. You need to be close so that you can have an input and output. For example, let me say you are working at a certain company, and then there is someone who is not working at the very same company. And then now at the company you want wages increase, you see. So you go and tell someone who does not belong to the company. How do you think the person will help? They won't help. You see, the one who is within is the one who can go to the management and try to show them that no, we are working very hard, we need some increase and all those kind of things. Because you are within the organization, it's easy for you to can change things within that organization. But if you are outside, it won't be easy, because when you go there, they will ask you, who are you? And then who told you that the people are crying here? You see? And then still it will be a problem for you to answer, even to give the appropriate Haile Selassie. You see, so I give thanks for life, and I give thanks for light, and I give thanks for the giving of thanks. I came here with the kuchu. You see, as you can see, I'm holding it within my hands. You see, because it's Sabbath, I usually give thanks and isis unto the great King for everything good. I give thanks even for giving I and I the cup of salvation. You see? So, let love conquer everything. You see? The white people are afraid of us. They think we are going to chase them and kill them, you know. That is why they don't want you to avenge yourself from what they did unto you. You see? During those days, when they were oppressing you, they told you that Jesus said if you beat you this side, you must bring this side. But now, everything is changing. They say, what does that mean? It means you must not reward evil for evil. You see? Why? Because they knew and they understand that now you are a free man. But still, they still want to rule you and upon you, using your own brethren and sisters who were supposed to help you to free up from all these people. You get what I'm saying? So now, Marcus Garvey lighted up a torch. He torches Africa so that Africa became independent. He was the voice in the wilderness. Jamaica is the wilderness because it is far from home. Home is where? Is Africa. That is why you hear those people, even when they sing or play their songs, they always tell you about home, Africa, where they come from, where they must return. You see, which is Mount Zion, the place of the Most High. You get what I'm saying? So, people, let us stop looking up in the sky for God who live within us. Because for you to stand, even to utter the words of righteousness, is because of the Most High within you. You see, let us give thanks for Jah within us. And stop giving thanks for something that we could never see and know. Selassie is the Almighty. Sila. One love.